Nasreen and her brothers shared a simple existence on the remote plains, preserving meat from animals they'd trapped to supplement their crops, building their own tools from the bones and scraps of repurposed metal. It was the opposite of the noisy, polluted streets of Alkenstar, and for a short time they shared it with Cassandra Lee. Every morning she would watch the sun rise over the flat expanse that seemed to go on forever in all directions, and when the siblings rose for the day she would shadow them, learning the skills they'd cultivated over lifetimes, and ignoring the relentless pull to the north, the call of the mountain. The android knew she wasn't truly helping these people. Most of the time she only slowed them down, but still, there was never any talk of payment. Till the day the gnolls came. Cassandra Lee had spotted them on the horizon, trampling through the tall grasses and kicking up a storm of dust in their wake. When she rushed inside to warn Nasreen, the siblings leapt to their feet. Nasreen's brothers grabbed Cassandra Lee by her arms, bending them up behind her back and holding her fast. As the android struggled both to free herself and to understand, Nasreen led the others out of the house. "Terribly sorry about this, my dear," she said, although she did not sound very sorry at all. "I assure you it's nothing personal. This is a hard world. Some things are so rare and so valuable that one has no choice but to take advantage of them." Cassandra Lee wasn't listening anymore, not to Nasreen. Instead, there was a voice deep down inside, one of her, but older and stronger, that was grabbing her attention. This other person, she was angry, she was shouting, and she knew exactly what to do, if only Cassandra Lee would get out of the way. So she stopped struggling. She stared at the back of Nasreen's head, the head of the woman she thought was her friend. She stepped out of the way. In seconds, the air all around her, all around all four of them, exploded with dozens of whirling, spinning, cutting, flying blades. There were no screams. There was no time. This is Pot Against the Machine.
Pot Against the Machine.
Welcome back to Pot Against the Machine, the only Pathfinder podcast that drips off the microphone in a Ridley Scott type of way. I'm your host, and here's everybody.
I don't care for it.
I mean, I guess to be very specific, it's probably more like an H.R. Geiger sort of. I don't really know who was the drool, if they were both into the drool. Right in.
I think when there's that much drool, it's got to be a joint effort.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair.
Both drooling at once. Mix that drool.
Previously on the program, the party dealt with the fallout from the Lurhatch fight. They first had to finish off the snake confusion, which involved Tarazi trying to hit Levi against his will, and then Levi hitting Tarazi against his will. That wasn't super happy. And then there was also Brixby waiting out the end of his fleshworm infestation, but luckily it did no further harm to him. Kira was very nearly knocked unconscious by just the sheer number of thorns that were around her, and the party took a while to hack their way through the thorns and reconvene, loot the body of the Migo priest, and then make their way back to Pater. When they determined that Pater did not have any magic available to break Kira's curse, and Alwyn wasn't able to break it with his scroll, they decided that the main party was going to head back to Iden Vey to employ the services of Brother Derviat. So there was a little bit of debate over who would stay where. Then they teleported back and talked to the good brother, stole his bed, and then decided instead to build a magical floating hammock, as one does. Slept the night in Iden Vey, woke up for some quick curse breaking, a little bit of goo cube failing, and then some light shopping. That's where we are now.
You mentioned the level up, right?
Oh, I did not mention the level up in the recap, but there was a level up. So I'm sure I won't regret that. And
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. No takebacks.
No take-backs. No takesies backsies. So obviously the shopping montage comes in under a legal approved girls just want to have fun. But it's kind of chanted instead of sung so that we can,
Gregorian chant of girls.
oh, that would be so creepy.
And they're all wearing like deer heads while they're doing it because it's Rastal.
Girls just want to sacrifice people who don't agree with them.
They just wanna. So, I mean, I don't know if anybody wanted to reveal any highlights of possible purchases or if we just want to jump back to the return trip.
I can share one. Brixby bought 4 scrolls that are very expensive altogether. It is far under my quarter, but still, it is 7,400 gold. This is where it really starts to hurt to not get spells at every level because they are incredibly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're talking 2,000 per 6th level spell. So Brixby got 3 6th level spells. I will tell you one of those. It is Dispel Magic Greater, which is one of my Void Elemental spells. What's cool about that is that Dispel Magic only allows you to dispel one effect. Dispel Magic Greater allows you to dispel lots of effects off of somebody or an area, which is cool. And then you can also know the level 5 spell that I bought to the tune of 1,300 gold, which is Break Enchantment, because our party needs it.
I don't like either of those.
The other ones you'll just have to figure out later. Anyone else want to sneak a little peek? Peek a little sneak?
No.
All right. Well, heading back to the Scar of the Spider then. We, of course, need that D100 roll for the teleportation, though.
Brixby's kind of preparing his spells later in the day than he normally does. We are teleporting back to the Scar of the Spider. That is a 74, which is far under the required 88 of Seen Casually to avoid mishap.
All right. So it sounds like you are able to magically return to the Scar of the Spider and appear, I assume, at Pater's Grove?
Yes, that is where we are going.
Oh, you show up there to find Pater and Asuma and Hersek all just, calmly gardening together as Pater shows the two of them how to properly remove weeds. Because, some weeds you want to pull out, but some you don't want to disturb the soil and you just want to cut them off at surface level. Just breaking that down.
That's beautiful.
It's so cute.
And of course, Asuma doesn't speak common, so he's trying to understand it.
Just like
and neither of them
charred
speak Androthan.
Yeah, she's just kind of
She shot at the ground.
nodding along and pretending that she has any idea what's going on. This is so awkward. These plants seem to be much easier to deal with than the Miko.
Thought they are.
I've made a note, green plants good, pink plants very bad.
How was everybody's night?
We slept in a hammock. One large hammock.
Magic.
Mammock.
Oh, that sounds preferable to sleeping on dirt, but I'm not one to complain personally. I slept in a compost pile. I've relocated one of the piles into my cave, but we're gonna have a constant rotation just to make sure the sort of heat levels stay up now that I have realized that just how wonderful and toasty warm that is.
Hersek?
I have no complaints. it was, it was a night. I've been sleeping out here for quite some time now. Shall we be off to find, whatever you're looking for and whatever I am looking for?
I think it's time.
I think we should return to the cave, yeah.
I agree. I think after we found that one, technically person, and he sort of eyes Kira's new armor, with the Technic League symbol on it, then, I think there's likely going to be more of them there.
Fair. We'll, deal with that when we encounter it.
Indeed. So you make your way back on over to the fungal caves through the increasingly familiar, horrible hellscape of this valley. And you're back at the caves where the dead, shambling mounds are still rotting away outside. Now you had there were several tunnels leading to different layers that you saw. There were some going up, some going down.
I think when we get back to the mouth of the cave, Alwyn is going to say, I know we have 2 more floors of this location to explore, but before we do, can we stop back in that chamber with the large dead tree in it, just for a quick moment?
Bixby pulls on his filter mask and, sure. We all have Bane voices, actually. Sure. Just happens to everybody.
Born in the darkness.
You only adopted the cave. You should think of Bane from the Harley Quinn show, which is so much
I
funny.
love the Bane from the Harley Quinn show.
I will destroy you.
Oh, Hersek is going to have to roll a fortitude save. He's
For several thousand feet of movement later, we end up back in the room that the Chaos Beasts attacked us from. And
It's a
Alwyn
literal year.
is going to take that holy symbol, and he is going to wedge it into that tree where you said all that other stuff was wedged in that looked like things that had been offerings. And he's just going to wedge it into a crack in the tree, and then he's just going to kind of kneel down and silently pray for a little bit, and then stand up and turn to everybody else and say, okay, I think we're good to continue on.
And then the tree kills him. Nothing seems to happen. So on the path down through this particular back to this chamber, you did pass through the last chamber where there is a in the bottom corner there's a sort of tunnel leading up. That's the closest one. There are others elsewhere.
We should probably go up. But I think before we go, as they're leaving the room, Brixby is going to turn to Alwyn and say, pardon me for not understanding when you talk about the real gods and the gods, the fake gods. From what I've seen from these gods, the gods from beyond the stars, beyond the black, they're more like a spreading wildfire, crushing earthquake, uncaring, unknowable. Because I'm just interested. The pantheon that I'm familiar with are gods. Either we're in the mold of them, or they're in the mold of us. What is it that you see in that? And I mean that respectfully, because I want to understand.
And he's going to look back kind of almost confused and say, well, yes, they are unknowing, uncaring. That's it. If they're gods. They're so far beyond us that we don't even matter to them. They don't even know we exist. That's what godhood is.
Thank you. That helps me understand. You see, I've always viewed divinity as more in a creationist frame. Perhaps they made us, and then in some sort of dialectic we make them. Now, many do their words, but most importantly, through our actions and inside ourselves, in the songs of our heart, in our dreams. Surely these beings are magnificent and terrible, but at what point, I guess, do we view them as gods? And how are they any different than, say, a black hole? And again, I say this respectfully because I wish to understand.
And I think he'll even say, you're completely right. You don't want to try to appeal to the gods. The Lurich said that he wanted to try to sacrifice the rest of the group to the Forest Mother, but you don't do things like that. There were people in the colony who tried that. You don't want to attract their attention. Imagine if you were walking through the woods and an ant came up and bit you. What would you do?
Probably stomp it. Yeah, depending on my day.
And he's just gonna nod and say, exactly. I worship the gods, the ones that you call the outer gods, but I personally think it is a very, very bad idea to attempt to draw their attention to try to make any kind of deal with them as you would with your gods. And that's part of why I couldn't let Lurich do what he wanted to do. Not just that he wanted to hurt my friends, but what he would do would end up hurting him and his people in the long run. It's dangerous. You don't draw the attention of the gods.
That really explains a lot for me. Thank you. And I hope you can understand that while I try not to pontificate about my experiences with the spheres, that there is also a deific experience that is loving, recuperative, and forgiving. And that redemption exists for everyone. And that, I just, that is my experience. And I just care for you. And you deserve something to care for you as well. I'm just like totally at that point, just slowly stuffing literature into his bag. And like, I don't think it's more the chick pamphlets. I think it's more the, like, think about the Desmond's. It's definitely like the Hare Krishna at the airport in the 80s. Mm-hmm. I have like Lentil Doll and like a weird preponderance of like 90s hardcore guys who got into it as well, which is really cool. So like I'm wearing my like power
and I will
color.
say like because like his whole reasoning for wanting to go out into the world was to want to know more about these things that he thinks of as lesser gods or not real gods because of how he was, right? And just wondering like, well, like literally everybody outside of where I live worships all these guys. I'd like to know more about them and why. So he's receptive to listening to what, like you can tell he's listening to what you're putting out. Like it interests him.
Do you mind if I ask, Tarazi, I don't think we've ever had this conversation.
Yes.
What are you... Do you have any beliefs beyond the material?
My people tend to revere Nalinavati. She's sort of the deity of the Nagaji and other, rather popular in certain parts of Tianjia. As far as do I have a personal relationship with Nalinavati, my Lord and Savior, it's not as much, we don't chit-chat so much as I appreciate her first mother. Hey, thanks for, the good stuff. And it's more of a cultural thing than a personal thing for me. That certainly wouldn't be true for all of my people, but I've never been particularly devout.
Thank you. Big stuff. I don't think we've ever really, as long as we've known each other, talked about a lot, but I don't think I've asked. Do you mind if is there something more than this for you?
I never really learned about any gods. We all just kind of, my family and I, we just kind of rely on each other. I guess it depends on what makes up a god, but my mom is pretty smart and knows a lot of things, so she could be a god. Brixby, you're the smartest person I've ever met. You would tell me if you were a god, right? Because that would really adjust a lot of beliefs I have.
Oh, yeah, no. The amount of passive self-aggrandizing that I do, along with passive vomiting, you would know about my deification. Post haste. If I ever do attempt testosterone, don't attempt testosterone, kids. Which is like a whole other thing I want to hear Alwyn's feelings on some other time about, how do you feel about a drunk halfling attaining godhood?
Yeah. That's kind of why he doesn't think that, they're real gods, because he's like, if a random person can, stumble past the thing and suddenly be raised up to their level, are they that much more impressive than anybody else?
Fair. But, Norgorber's like a cat or something. There's, no way that it's, 4 people. I feel like Norgorber is possibly 4 halflings in a trench coat, but I think it's also likely that a cat could be all 4 of Norgorber's. So, Sam could probably attest to this. Met some skin soft cats. Yeah.
All it takes is a cat in the right mood to basically be Norgorber.
You heard it here first. We finally revealed. Jason Bowman made us promise, but we're going to tell you right now the one secret he told us about Pathfinder. Norgorber is just a bag of cats.
Oh, it's such a relief that I have to keep that secret anymore.
Oh, God, I know, right?
I didn't even know I missed that whole game, and I've been not sitting on this knowledge forever.
So, speaking of higher power, should we bring our power higher? And he points up to the thing and makes a little, flex motion.
Aye.
Points up.
Yeah, see what you did there. Very clever.
How high is it if we look up in the hole? Can we see kind of where we think the next level would be?
You can see daylight coming down from it. It looks like the shaft itself probably runs about 25 feet, and it's going to be a tight squeeze for most of you. But it's 25 feet at the diagonal, so it's not super much higher than you are now.
Okay. We can do this. My climb is not good.
You could hold on to Tarazi's ankles and he could just carry you up with his
Pull you up.
25
strength.
I like the idea of Brixby being so spell miserly that is what he would rather do than look like a cool mage. Just hang off of you. Yeah, I'm for it. Recast my disc later.
All right, so we're climbing up. Yeah, why don't you give me some climb checks?
That's a 5. So
Definitely going to take a couple tries then.
It's a nat 20 for a 28.
I think that's more than enough to drag Brixby up.
Yay. Uppies.
Owen is also going to have to get dragged up by someone with his -4 to climb.
You could hold on to any part of the awkwardly squeezing
Big
goopy snake with the climb
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah, Alwyn will grab on to Levi and ride him up.
Great, that's a 19 on my second try.
All right.
Does that work?
Yeah, 19's plenty. So, as you come up here, you find that this chamber is actually open to the sky. You are in a sort of like another soggy, wet, fungusy pool area that is bordered on all sides by a sheer cliff wall that rises about 80 feet above which is the sky. It looks like this cave kind of just has open air above it. And in front of you is like a muck waterfall sort of thing. It's a long, straight path of this gunky green water sort of slowly sludging its way down. So it is on a slant, but it's just difficult terrain. You can walk up it. And it seems to make its way up towards the top of the wall, but as far as you can tell from here, you can't actually get all the way to the top of the wall from there.
So how would we get to the... Would we have to, like, fly to get to the top of the wall? Or, like...
Yeah, you'd have to fly or climb a fairly sheer cliff face to actually get to access the outside of the cliff from here.
You said it was 80 feet?
Yeah.
Because I could totally... We could either all take turns riding up a snake, or like Tarazi could create a rope ladder up to... Yeah, he could do exactly an 80-foot rope ladder that's magically knotting itself and suspended in midair.
Does it go anywhere? Like, does it look like when we go up there that it would go anywhere? I mean, assumedly the goo is coming down, but like, would it maybe make sense for just like you and Levi to go up and check, and then you can cast the spell if it looks like something we're willing to go up for?
Sure. Yeah, the downside to me doing that is no hammock for tonight, you know.
Oh, no. No.
Well, if the snake squad climbs up the sides of the wall, you basically find going straight up that at the top, you're outside, sort of built into one of these cliff walls of the Scar of the Spider. You're sort of just at a higher layer of it. You're basically, up on top of the cave that you went into in the first place. But as far as identifying features, it's just basically being back out in the Scar of the Spider. This looks like it was an alternative way that you could have gotten in had you been flying.
Yeah. Do I, atop the high perch, do I see like the glint of the sun off a neurocam? Or can I see where Cassandra may have left a note on top of the waterfall? Like, hey, it's 3 caves over.
I don't think that there's anything that specifically interesting visible from this particular perch, no.
We're gonna like leave after looking through every cave, and it's just gonna be like masking tape to the back of the like "Welcome to the Scar of the Spider" billboard. Not even in a cave.
You never checked. And you didn't look under the keyboards. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a pretty rookie mistake. They'd slither back down and kind of like just take the waterfall of sludge with a big, splash mountain kind of thing. And tell them, there's nothing up there. Cool, decent view of this irradiated, hellscape, but that's it.
Oh, if you continue on to the top of this shaft, it sort of goes into an alcove at the top of the slide, and so it's another foul-smelling, muck-filled chamber with a ceiling 10 feet overhead, decorated by a tangle of mucus-like dangling filaments that form an unnerving canopy. Some mass of plant matter floats in the ooze at the cave's northern corner, and as you're sort of exploring this little area, a number of brightly colored long-necked amphibians peek their fanged snouts and numerous little finlets out of the water, and looks like they're gonna move to strike here. It's time to roll for initiative.
No.
Oh, no.
I knew I shouldn't have moved.
They're kind of cute.
They're adorable little creatures.
They look like the little compies from Jurassic Park, kind of, but with flippers.
Oh no, what is this? Whoops. I figured out why the thing was still measuring.
Why's that?
Because we were still in combat.
Wow. Felt that way at times.
I definitely should have pre-rolled some initiative. But I didn't because I'm not good at this.
No, come on, you love killing us.
I didn't say I didn't love killing you. I just said I was bad at being prepared.
And when you love what you do, it's not work or something.
Thanks, capitalism.
Okay, how about Tarazi?
Not too shabby. 18 total.
I think I didn't get Brixby on the initiative counter at all, which is fun.
That is a 21 from Bribby.
All right, where are you?
I'm right here. I'm in the wall.
Yeah, you are on the
He's
initiative.
jammed into the wall next to Azula.
All right. How about Alwyn?
Alwyn rolled a 9 for a 16.
And Kira is the one who is not on the initiative counter because she's way, way, way far away.
So I moved my token. So Kira's going to sit this one out. With a 15
Just-
total.
15?
Teleport.
15, 1-5.
All right. Well, sadly, some of these creatures go first, so we're going to start with a thoughtful little creature who is going to just bloop its way on over with a 5-foot little swimmy do, and that's just going to start going after the big snake that wound up in its home. Natural 1 on the bite, but it's got claws too. Nope, not going to hit with the first claw. Second claw might hit. How about a 26 versus flat-footed?
No.
That's not very nice. 24 versus flat-footed?
Still no, weirdly.
All right, well, it didn't hit at all. Did a 28 hit flat-footed because it was flanking?
Yeah, that would hit flat-footed exactly.
Nice. So it did land one hit. So that is 4 slashing damage from the claw of this thoughtful
Okay.
little creature.
It's a little guy.
takes us to a dishonest creature who is going to unleash a blood-curdling howl. I'm going to need a will save from Tarazi, Levi, and that's it. They're the only ones close enough.
Probably going to be 2 juicy fails. We're looking at a 11 for Tarazi and a 14 for Levi. Although if it's mind affecting, make that a 13 for Tarazi.
Oh, it is mind affecting. Those are both fails. So Tarazi and Levi are both dazed for 1 round.
No.
And then shaken for 1 additional round.
Oh no.
And that'll bring us to Bribby.
All right. Can I see them from where we are? It's hard to like.
You're kind of embedded in a wall.
I mean, I know, which gives me full cover canonically because I am an incorporeal creature. But so even if I was like over here, right? But I can still like, can I see? Because there's an elevation that transpires around here, right? Can I see them?
Yeah, I think you can see them from where you are.
Okay. All right. I would like to roll knowledge.
It would be Arcana.
Right. What is that Arcana? It's Aish. Right. That is a 28.
You were looking at Vuniths, small magical beasts that are cunning and aggressive, amphibious nocturnal predators with voracious appetites and mild intelligence. Their howl is said to freeze the blood and is more than capable of stopping a creature in its tracks. They're native to the strange dimension of dream. They may have found their way out of that realm and into the waking world to take up lairs in swampy fens and remote coastlines of this world. It's unclear exactly how they did that, but with a 28, you do have 3 questions.
All right, let's start with defenses.
They do not have any particular defenses.
Fine. We'll do attacks and special qualities then.
All right. Well, the attacks, they have the bite and the claws. Notably, they with their long necks, they can actually reach 10 feet for their bite. They also have the ability to pounce. So don't think that staying far away from them will help you. And they have the blood-freezing howl, which you just saw freeze the Snake Squad.
Oh. All right. They're dream fishes. They freeze you. That is about as all I can get out of my 6 seconds. Let's see. How, like, with the incline, like, how far? Are they, like, 30 feet, 35?
I mean, it's effectively in a straight line. It's 25 feet.
Okay, cool. I just wasn't sure how much of it is like an incline. All right, so will the one right here, which is the one that is in between Levi and Tarazi, closest to me, make me a will save, please.
Will save?
As Brixby sprinkles a bit of flash powder and it ignites into little stars.
The intolerant Vunith gets a 14 on the will save.
All right. Now you are the one that is dazed with Wandering Star Motes, which is one of my Void Elemental spells, level 4. You are now dazed. We can talk about it next round, about what happens to you.
All right. Not dazzled, but dazed.
And that's my turn.
All right. That'll bring us to Hersik. I have 10, 15, 20... since this is difficult terrain on this slope, about all he can do is double move to get up into position to fight next turn. And that brings us to Tarazi and Levi. Sadly, you are dazed this round.
Yeah, super bummer. Not gonna lie.
Well, luckily you're not dazed anymore after your round is over. Now the wise Vunith, and I guess it's just going to try to beat up the snake that's right in front of it. I mean, why not, right? I guess actually it's going to move 5 feet just to get a little flanky do. It doesn't care that there's other people down there. Why would it care about that? How about a 29?
Nah, he's not flat-footed anymore, son.
Well, actually 31 with the flank. I forgot the flank.
Oh, okay. Nope. Yes. Looking at a 32 for the big snake, thanks to that amulet that he's now wearing. Very fashionable.
Very exciting. Alright, well, Claw 1 misses. Claw 2 misses. Claw 3 also misses, but Claw 4 misses as well. They're going to have a hard time hitting any snakes, regardless of their day's status. Brings us to Alwyn.
Alwyn. So he is going to, could I see enough around Big Snake to have line of effect, or line of sight? I just need line of sight on the furthest one back at the very top of the cave.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so he's going to lock eyes with that one, and he is going to cast Murderous Command on it. So how about that one gives me a will save?
I don't want to.
Wow.
How does a 7 sound?
That would be a critical fail in 2E. But yeah, so his next turn, he has to attack his nearest ally.
That's mean. Poor dishonest fool.
And that will be Alwyn's turn.
All right, Kira.
Woohoo! Kira's gonna spend her whole turn moving. She's gonna rage first. That haste will help. And then she's gonna drag her token. She's gonna double move, and then how does double move with haste? Is that a triple?
No, you still only get the 30 extra feet in addition to double your movement. But keep in mind that you can only move at half speed in difficult terrain, so...
Oh, right, we're in difficult terrain. So that's going to put me at 45 feet. I can't really see where anyone is, so I'm going to move up here, and if I'm standing on someone, I'm so sorry.
You see when we ping? There we are.
Nailed it.
All right. And I believe that's my turn.
All right. Well, the indiscreet one of these creatures, I think, is going to... I think it's going to pop on up to the north, and it's going to let loose a howl. So now I'm going to need will saves from... basically everybody.
Right, and is this a spell or spell-like
It
ability?
is not.
Alrighty.
And you said Snake Squad is shaken for this round?
They are indeed.
Thanks for the will saves.
Wow, those things are pretty.
Yeah, they are kind of cool looking. They have a very regal neck.
Yeah,
Funny little hands.
all guys.
All right, Asuma and Hersik pass. How about... we'll do the Snake Squad again.
You know, despite the shaken, the dice were a lot kinder to me. We are looking at a dirty 20 for Tarazi and an 18 for Levi.
So they both pass.
Yeah.
How about going down the line? Kira next.
22 total.
All right, Kira's good. Brixby?
A 20.
Also good. And Alwyn.
Sorry, I zoned out. What was Alwyn roll?
Will save.
I will save.
Oh, they're doing their scream.
Mm-hmm.
That is A 19.
All right, just barely, but Alwyn does get it. Nobody is frozen this time. That's the end of that little creature's turn, which will bring us to Asuma. So Asuma is going to... I think she's gonna stay where she is because she's shooting through traffic anyways. And she's just gonna unleash 4 shots this time because she leveled up 2. Starting with the Intolerant Vunith. First one hits. Oh, awesome damage. Alright. Second one also hits. Less good on the damage. Third one also hits. In between the 2 on the damage, but it is enough to kill the Intolerant Vunith. So she's gonna turn on over to the Wise Vunith for the final shot. Also hits. Short-circuited my brain, but she's done. And, did a lot of damage.
So, Wandering Star Motes. When someone succeeds, or they're dead, the spell jumps to another person within 30 feet. So the next one, the wise one, would need to make a will save now.
All right, the Wise one will make a will save. I'm sure it will pass with its wonderful bonus. That's a 21.
It actually does pass. So I think that means, hold on, let me double check. So it makes the will saves. It just jumps to the next enemy.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's gonna go to, yeah, so it goes through all of the enemies, and then if they all save, it's gone.
All right, well.
So, Meticulous.
Where is the Meticulous one?
Just north of Levi.
All right, well, the Meticulous one got a natural 1, so it is dazed?
It is now dazed. Yeah, and just for the folks at home, this is the spell. Target must make a successful will save. If it fails to save, it's dazed for 1 round and must make another save on its turn or be dazed again for 1 round. Target continues to make will saves each round. If the target makes the will save, the Wandering Star Motes jump to the next enemy within 30 feet. Need to continue to make will saves every round or be dazed. Anytime a target makes the will save or is unavailable, the Wandering Star Motes jump to the next nearest enemy within 30 feet. A given creature can only be affected once. Once a target is successfully saved, it cannot be affected again. There are no new targets within 30 feet that have successfully made the save. The spell ends. The spell only affects enemy creatures. It's a cool spell.
That's fun. That's a weird one, too.
Yeah, it's a void elemental one. I wouldn't have taken it otherwise, but it's almost more like thematically Alwyn.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, it sounds more like something... I think that was actually one I had an option to do as like a bloodline thing, was a similar one to that.
That makes sense.
Or it might have
cool
given me the spell, one or the other.
So you're dazed.
All right. Well, the thoughtful Vunith is back up at the top of round 2. It's going to start chomping Hersick because it knows the snake is hard to chomp. First one's not going to do it. How about the claws? No. No. Also no. And no. For those at home, that was a 1, 2, 4, 1, 7 on those attacks.
Yeah.
The dishonest Vunith, I believe, has to attack its nearest buddy. I mean, I suppose.
And then he's back to normal after that. Just for the 1 turn, he's got to do it.
All right. Well, he manages to hit on the dazed, meticulous Vunith that is having a difficult day. That is 7 damage. And a free chance to trip. But it can't trip its buddy. Is this supposed to full attack, or is this like confusion? It just has to do the 1.
Give the target a mental urge to kill its nearest ally, which it obeys to the best of its ability.
Okay.
The target attacks its nearest ally on its next turn with a melee weapon or natural weapon. If necessary, it moves to or charges to the nearest ally in order to make the attack. If it's unable to reach it, it uses the move to get as close as possible. So it says to the best of its ability, it's trying to kill it.
So that sounds like a full attack. But it hits with one claw,
Back to me.
misses with 2 claws, and hits with the final claw. So it does a little chunk of damage to the meticulous Vunith. And now
I'm trying to imagine this in my head. Whenever there's like an enemy that gets 4 claw attacks but has 4 legs, like that, it's like what this looks like. It's like trying to kick with its back and front legs at once.
Oh, don't worry, these things have 6 legs.
Oh, do they have 6? It looks like 4 in the picture.
On the description it says 6. So yeah, I think like if you look at the picture, there's 2 up in the air and then there's 4 on the ground.
Oh, yeah, those are more legs. I thought there was like little frills or something. Yeah.
All right, Brixby, you're up.
These things don't seem that dangerous, right?
No.
Like I'm thinking about conserving spells, so Brixby is going to delay.
They do not seem like something we need to be doing high-level spells.
Right,
on.
yeah.
Or spells at all, I guess, technically.
Yeah, I think that Marshall maybe has this one, considering that, not that, like, Asuma. I'm going to assume that they can be murdered pretty quickly, considering she put that one down. Oh.
Their only real dangerous bit is the screaming and how many of them can do it, which you could kind of get locked into letting them peck at you for a few rounds, but even that, we have so much health they're hitting for single-digit damage.
Yeah, and Daze doesn't reduce your AC, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't make you drop anything. It's not stunned.
Yeah, no, it's
which is,
better
like,
than stunned, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool, yeah. So Brixby's going to delay and see how people handle it.
Are you sure you don't want to burn a 6th-level spell here?
Oh, yeah. That's it. Destroy robot. I'm sure they're robots.
You never know when they're going to go into, like, beast mode.
That's fair. I think the 4th level spell is judicious enough at this point to watch that one go. Brixby's going to stand back and watch the fish get dazed.
All right, well, Hersik is going to full attack. He's going to start with the one straight in front of him, the wise Vunith. And he does indeed hit. Hey, making me do so much math here, Paizo. All right, he very nearly killed it in one stab. Stab number 2 is... Does that hit? That one's a close one, because it was a bad roll. It hits exactly. And he kills the Vunith directly in front of him. And he's gonna go for the stab at the thoughtful Vunith around the corner with the lowest Bab attack, and that will miss. Alright, Tarazi, you're shaken. You're very scared of these super weak enemies, but the snake squads get a turn.
Yay. Shaken. Yeah, Tarazi will 5-foot step to the northeast onto the corpse of the one Vunith, the wise one, and then he'll start his full attack, beginning. Let's start with the indiscreet Vunith to the northeast. That way, if he manages to not kill the 2 closest to him, then Hersik will come. Now, it'll be a whole teamwork thing. Really, a bit of strategery. That's a 29 on the first one.
That'll hit.
21 on the second one.
Also hits.
And a nat 20 on the third.
That misses.
A 21 confirms. So we'll see which one it's against after I start murderizing. 22 damage on the indiscreet Vunith with the first hit. Still up?
Yeah. That's the first time it was hit.
Okay. Here's 19 more.
It's still up.
Ow. Fine. Well, then it's going to get its crit damage. 47 points of damage.
And that's plenty to kill it.
It's going to get that shield bash on it. Levi then will try and strike the northernmost Vunith, the dishonest one, and miss on both attempts.
That's fun. All right. That takes us to Alwyn.
Halloween, following Brixby's lead, kind of doesn't think he needs to waste spells on these things. Yeah, and the only thing you do would be like Acid Splash, where that does no damage, and he doesn't have the stuff to fire it into combat and actually hit. So he's just gonna kind of hang out back here.
All right. Kira, you're running up a water slide.
Yep. Which means half movement, but I think even with half movement with rage and haste, I should be able to get up to just north of Levi, and she's going to jam herself right in that corner and attempt to whack at the northernmost guy with a chainsaw. That is going to be a hang on, new numbers now. 35 to hit.
That does hit.
Well, that is 3d6 plus 25. 37 points of damage at northernmost guy.
All right, it's badly hurt.
And that's my turn.
All right.
Oh, also, Sam, recall your characters have a +4 bonus. As Kira recklessly runs into this battle, you have a +4 bonus to attack and also to damage, Kira, until the start of my next turn.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, take all
sure
the chances you want.
I'm sure that won't come back to haunt me in any way when I
No, I wouldn't.
capitalize on that. But first, Asuma. Let's see. Asuma sees a lot of dead things. I guess Asuma... Yeah, she's going to shoot at the dishonest one behind Kira. Because why not, right? Shooting through traffic, that still hits. And that is the end of the dishonest one. Now she'll go for the meticulous one. And that is a natural 20. And confirmed. So this might be a moot point. That was which one?
Meticulous.
Meticulous. That takes it... Oh, it's still up. It's at 0. Shot number 3 is a natural 1. So shot number 4 is actually going to miss.
And you crit multipliered.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah, they don't have 4 times crits on the tech guns. Just the times 2.
Bummer. Because that one was also the one that Alwyn had murderously command targeted. So, it had taken a beating from its buddy.
Yeah, it's down to exactly 0.
That's probably dead.
And it's its turn. And it's going to hit.
And it's dazed. Wait, isn't it?
Oh,
dazed?
that one's dazed,
All
yeah.
Yeah, meticulous is dazed.
So it doesn't have a chance to go after Kira and provoke an attack of opportunity.
Drop into the negative.
It's very sad. So Brixby,
Its dreams of a Viking death have been robbed.
you just saved this creature's life. Is what I'm saying.
I'm a Vunith lover.
Does it get a save at the end of its turn or something?
It does. It does get another will save against the effect.
10.
And if it saves, okay, great. Because I was going to say we'll jump to the other one, but yeah, that's it's still dazed and disabled. So
Absolutely brutal. All right, the thoughtful one is thinking twice about its current position, but I don't think it really knows what to do other than go after. It's gonna let's split attention. We'll go for the snake with the bite first. That will miss. Claw for Hersic, also miss. Claw for snake, also missed. Claw for Hersic, also miss, and the final claw for the big snake is a dramatic miss. We're back around to Brixby, who skipped an entire round.
I'm still a skipping.
All right. It's up to Hersic to kill the remaining creature here. Yeah, that'll hit. And stab number 2 also hit. And Boxcars kills off the thoughtful Vunith. We are out of combat, and I'm actually going to clip. No, we're not out of combat. The meticulous Vunith is still up. Never mind. It's still alive.
Never say die. Never say die, Sam.
Tarazi, you're up. There is a still alive, dazed, poorly looking Vunith standing next to Levi.
Yeah, no longer shooketh. Levi will attempt to finish it off. That is going to be a 23 and an 18.
The 23 hits.
Yeah, I thought it might. Minimum 14 points of damage.
More than enough to kill the thing that had exactly 0 hit points left.
Hooray!
So now we are out of initiative. You are in this weird little alcove at the top of the trough. I have no real good word for what that is. There is a weird mass of plant matter floating in the northern corner right near where Kira is.
Kira pokes at it with a chainsaw.
Destroying it.
No, it's a gentle poke.
Chainsaw that's canonically always running.
It is always on.
Well, she partially sheds what appears to be a woven basket made of swamp reeds.
Is there something
Underwater
in the basket?
weaving.
Oh, if you pop open the lid, there are 3
Oh no, Moses.
weird, airy-looking discs in there. Like, they're only like 2.5 inches in diameter, and they look like they're made of woven, like, hair-like fibers.
That's weird.
Knowledge nature.
Kira takes several steps back.
Yeah.
These would be spellcraft to identify.
All right.
Well, they're
Give me a disc with hair. Long, beautiful hair. 35.
Nice. That beats my 27.
nice. You were looking at 3 touches of avolition. These thin discs are actually an example of Migo technology, as much fungus as anything else. Creatures like Migo can handle them with ease, but humanoids and other fleshy users must wear gloves to avoid becoming target of the item's effects. Applying a touch of avolition to the flesh of any living corporeal non-plant and non-ooze creature causes the touch of avolition to swiftly merge with the target, unless they succeed at a fortitude save. On a failed save, the victim becomes paralyzed for 7 rounds. It can attempt a new fortitude save as a standard action after the first round to end the effect early, but once the victim recovers from the paralysis effect, the touch of abolition saps the user's willpower and dulls the senses, making the creature under these effects easier to mentally manipulate. The victim's wisdom is reduced by 6 for as long as the touch of abolition remains attached. Fungal filaments from this thing dig deep, and merely ripping the patch free doesn't remove the wisdom penalty, though the removal itself does deal damage to the victim. The effect is a curse effect, and it can be removed via remove curse or similar spells.
That's
What's
awesome.
the fort DC on the disc?
It's only a 15.
Okay, but that's still fun.
That's a,
Yeah.
Does it use the disc to do it? If you like disc someone and they fort save and you're like, no more disc?
It doesn't say specifically, but they read to me as like
Consumable
consumables.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Why would they give us 3 if it was like a
Yeah.
consistent?
I thought that just like chuck them at people like frisbee.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
put it in a sling because you don't want to touch it without gloves. But if you put it in a sling, you can launch it at somebody.
Oh. I had like no idea what the word avolition was.
What is
The
it?
inability to initiate or engage in goal-directed behavior.
Yeah, it's like no volition.
I'm
Oh,
so
wow.
familiar with that.
Jesus.
That was a
Christ.
read. Wow, Sam.
I know. Oh boy. Yeah, I feel seen.
So, looks like there's not a lot of explorable cavern through this hole. Did it seem like there was a way, any other ways to get in, like if we all went up and over? Or do we need to go back down to the floor beneath us and look for more up and downies?
That looks
Well, because we have
there
it down.
was, over way at the top, there's the down one.
Yeah, this looked like a dead end. There were still a way down off the Gug room, a way down off the other Gug room, and then a way up in Lerhetch's room.
Oh,
I forgot
wow.
the way up in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I'm inclined to do that uppy before we go downy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Let's do another uppy.
Oh,
I'm cool.
If there's a room that has either like a loot or information or something in it, it's probably above where the boss was. Maybe that's metagamey, but I'm curious. Completionist-wise, we're going to go through every inch of this place anyway. So
Yeah, no,
Yeah, no.
fair.
We're checking all the fake tombs before going in the real one.
unless we go up and it's where the neurocam is, and then we just teleport out and we're like, see you.
It's the final boss.
Yeah, over here, up on one of the raised pedestals on the southern corner of the room there is another passage leading up. A remarkably dry passage, all things considered.
Up, be in that dry.
How
If we're allowed.
Um,
How high?
I think this one, the main problem with this particular one is that it's about 25 feet off of the ground.
We're not going to.
Fly time. Yep.
or, up to 80 feet of rope.
Yeah, I think maybe like fly someone up there and then we 80 feet of rope
Yeah.
down.
They drop the rope down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So Brixby is going to cast Fly on Tarazi.
Bold. If you want to use fly, you can, but with a climb speed, I mean, Levi can always just kind of go along like a spider.
You can do it like upside down and stuff.
Why not?
To get in there?
Tell me what.
Yeah,
it's a
all right,
climb
cool.
speed. That just sounds fun.
Let's
to me.
pull that. Let's pull that out. Let's not fly. I want to see that climb speed go.
Yeah.
I mean, I figure if like spider climb lets you do that, then I think a climb speed would.
Yeah, and this
Snake
is like
climb,
a cave.
surely.
I've seen snakes upside down on stuff that's like bumpy enough that they can hang on to.
Then Tarazi would have just been on that saddle, holding on as the snakes are upside down.
And the snakes scoot their ways up through the tunnel into a warm and dry cavern beyond, with no evidence of fungus that grows rampantly elsewhere in the cavern network.
Huh. Well, before aggroing the boss, we'll just drop a mundane rope down and tie it off onto. We'll just tie it onto the saddle. Why not? And then he'll just do a little peek. Start exploring. Nothing could go wrong.
I didn't know if it would let you Ah,
Oh, look, it's Shep McGrath.
well, as you
And Mark McGrath, oddly.
work your way through this warm, dry room, you can see that strange carvings adorn the walls. But as you loop around the sort of rock pillar that holds up the ceiling in here, to the northern side, you can see a small alcove on the north that contains a low, flat rock. Upon that rock sits a single, dark metal cylinder. I'm going to bed.
Go.
It's a neurocam.
Oh,
It's a dark metal cylinder.
Can
Does that
of
mean we don't have
soda.
to fight the giant space monsters that none of my spells work against? Because that would be awesome.
We did it. We win.
and we probably still do have to fight them because it's probably like half of the neurocam and go get the other half from the other cave. But we assume that it's a neurocam.
Yeah.
I mean, it could just be like
Everyone's
a can of
faces
spice.
said yes. That's what I said. It's a can of soda.
You're free to assume whatever you
Good
want.
night, Sam.
Night,
It's a
Sam.
Mountain Dew
Code black.
vegetation
Wait, no, not
blast.
cold. What is that called? Pitch black.
Good night, Mr. Pibb.
Liquid death.
That's him. I was literally typing, he's talking about an alcove and carvings, and I'm like typing in the foundry and a neurocam.
Against the machine. Against the machine.
Pot Against the Machine is property of Network Against the Machine LLC, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are property of Paizo Publishing. See their website for more details. Theme Against the Machine was written and performed by our own Zach. See the show notes for additional music and sound licensing. If you enjoyed the show, we encourage you to leave us a review. Where is Tarazi's token? I have lost track of it.
Yeah, I don't actually know.
Did I not? Where is Tarazi?
Can Jeff see him anywhere?
Has anyone
Like, is there
seen
another part
Tarazi?
of the cave that's lit up for you? Because I can't see anywhere.
Oh, he's still
I'm not
upstairs by the Vuniths.
Oh, he got trapped in the
over there somewhere.
Vuniths? Oh, because he was sharing a square with a Vunith.
That's it.
That'll do it.
Razi
why you
loves
don't share a
sharing a
square.
square with a Vunith.
Yeah.
All right, now he's flying.
Elaine tried to
Vunith
warn us.
loving.
Known Vunith lover.
Can someone ping on the map where these guys popped up? Because
They're all surrounding Levi. There's like 6 of them, but they're way at the top.
poop.
Yeah, now that they get to listen to us move through all of these caverns.
It's not like our GM can just grab all the tokens at once and drag them over there.
No.
Nope, that's impossible. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong room.
Well, while you're slowly... I guess, never mind. We'll let you do a little bit of a movie do. You're going all the way to Lurhetch's room?
Yeah.
All right, just let me drag everybody, because
Other side of
otherwise
the
it's going to be a
planet Earth.
nightmare.
I figure
Okay, yeah. Let me come back, because if you try to drag me now, you're going to grab 600 dead Migo.
All right. I think I lodged some people in walls, but
That's fair.